Okay, guys, welcome back. So this question is dependent on the previous video that I have shared in this playlist. That's how to reverse any string, right? So it is completely dependent on that. So what we mean by the palindrome? Palindrome is somehow like this. If I am saying there is some word, let's say the word is down, right? So if you will reverse this word down, right? If I will reverse it, it will become NWO D, right? So that means when you are reversing this word down, is the word remaining the same? क्या down same रह रहा है as a down? Then we can say it is a palindrome. Let's take another example. I am saying madam, right? Now when I am trying to reverse this word madam, it is becoming M-A-D-A-M. M-A-D-A-M. That means after reversing this word madam, it is the same word. That means reverse वाला जो word है वो exactly same है the actual word. So then we can say this is a palindrome. We can say this is a palindrome, right? And when we are reversing this word down, and it is not a palindrome, you can say not palindrome. गेटिंग दिस पॉइंट दैट मीन्स रिवर्स करने के बाद भी अगर वो वर्ड सेम वर्ड रह रहा है तो आप उसको बोल सकते हो वो पैलिंड्रोम है, राइट? सो मीन्स कि यहाँ पे क्या करना है, हमें रिवर्स करना है वर्ड को, राइट? सो हाउ इन अ प्रीवियस क्वेश्चन यू हैव ऑलरेडी सीन दैट. सो आई विल बी टेकिंग द वर्ड फ्रॉम द यूजर. आई विल से वर्ड इक्वल टू इनपुट and enter the word. Obviously I'll say enter the word, and after that what I'll be doing is I'll simply say if जो वर्ड है एक्चुअल वाला वर्ड, द एक्चुअल वाला वर्ड वट एवर द यूजर विल गिव मी दैट विल बी कैप्टिंग इन दिस वर्ड, राइट? सो वर्ड अगर वो वर्ड सेम है रिवर्स वाले वर्ड के साथ, रिवर्स ऑफ दिस कॉलन कॉलन -1, दैट्स हाउ वी कैन रिवर्स एनी वर्ड, राइट? अगर ये रिवर्स करने के बाद भी सेम है, मीन्स ये दोनों सेम है बिकॉज वी आर यूजिंग द कंपैरिजन ऑपरेटर हियर, देन व्हाट वी कैन से इज प्रिंट string is palindrome, right? This is what will be printing here, and here I will say string is palindrome. Else what I will say is else what I will say is print string is not palindrome. Else what we can say is string is not a palindrome. You can watch at 2x or 3x, whatever is possible for you. Right? String is not palindrome. Now if I will run this program, let's say I'm giving here madam and it's saying the string is palindrome, right? Let's use some other word. I will say python, Python, python. If you reverse this python, it's not the same as the python here, right? So if you want to say that the python is not same as the python, so I can say something like this. I will say let me create here the reverse word. I will say here reverse underscore word, reverse word is equal to word word ka colon -1, right? It is same. Then you can keep here the reverse word instead of this, means you are reversing the word here and saving it in reverse word. You can say that word equal to reverse word itself. That's also the same, right? But if I have to tell the user that the word is not palindrome because of the reason the reverse word is something different, so let's say I will say here string is not palindrome because the reason is because the word I will say because the reverse of word, कौन सा word, जो ये वाला word है मेरा, and I will be keeping here, I'll be using the f string here, so I will say here word brackets में ये variable वाला word है, it will go to here because it will understand that this is not as some message, this is a one identifier where some data is being presented, so it will go to this location and will fetch the data from there, right? Because the reverse of word is कौन सा word, reverse वाला word, right? So I will say here rev underscore word. If you don't know about the f string and the formatting, one video I have created, and you can watch that video as well, right? So now if I will run this program again here, let's say I'm saying python, 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 right? Now what is say string is not palindrome because the reverse of python is this thing, right? That this is the another thing. So one assignment I'll be giving you here is that you just create for this the string is palindrome because the reverse of the word is this word, right? So this is, and use the formatting here instead of the f string you have used here, use here formatting. Okay, now is there any other way apart from this? Yes, we can use a follow. So for loop, in a for loop, what I can do is I can do something like this. Let me take this first line as it is to receive a word from user. So I will say here for loop hash using for loop, right? So what I'll be doing here is, again, I'll be taking the input from the user, right? So after that, so obviously what we have to do is we have to create this reverse word, like you are creating the reverse word here, right? So obviously if you are using the follow, we'll be using here you will be using I as an index. As for I in range किसमें range किसमें length of word के लास्ट पे जाओ, दैट मीन्स -1 लोकेशन पे जाओ, एंड योर स्टॉपिंग कंडीशन विल बी -1, एंड जो आपको स्टेप साइज लेना है दैट इज -1, राइट? सो दैट मीन्स जो भी वर्ड का, सपोज अगर मेरा वर्ड इज USING, आई विल बी यूजिंग द G फर्स्ट, देन N, देन ISU, then I'll be storing it somewhere, right? So for that I'll be creating here one reverse word. Let's say I'll say reverse underscore word, right? And I'll be creating it as an empty one, right? So what I'll be doing here is I'll be doing something like this. If you will check what I will give you, I will say print I, right? So what we will see, what I will receive here, right? If I will again run it, and here I will say MADAM. So what I is receiving 43210, right? So what we'll be doing is we'll be quoting the location by 4, and whatever the data is present here, we will be storing it in reverse word. That means M we will get stored in the reverse word, right? So you have seen it in the previous question as well. So what I'll be doing here is I'll do something like this: rev underscore word. If you don't understand it, please watch the previous video. I explained it over there as well. What I'll do is word की किस position पे जाओ, I की position पे, and create a word here, right? So one word will be created, right? Once the word is created, then I will say same thing. If word is same as reverse word, then what I will say is it is a palindrome or it is not a palindrome, right? That is what I will be saying here. So let me copy this thing from here. Okay, now if I will run it, and I'm giving the word as madam, 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 and it is saying it's not a palindrome. Why? Okay, my mistake. This was a mistake. Okay, we have not added that up, and let me run it again. Now I'm giving here madam, MADAM, and now it's a palindrome, right? Now again, if I will see here some other word, let's take an example. We're given here GIVE give, and it's saying it's not a palindrome, right? So we did one mistake here. This plus we have not kept it well. Rest of the things are same, right? Now this thing you also understood, but okay, let me show you one thing. Let me show you one thing. Let me comment these lines, right? And let me uncomment these lines. Let me uncomment these lines. If you'll understand here, one thing came into my mind. So if I will run it, if I will keep here M capital ADAM, now it will say string is not palindrome because the reverse of the madam is madam. So what is happening here, if you will see this, so here what I am doing is I'm doing something like this: MADAM, right? If you will reverse it, it will become MADAM, right? So when you are comparing this M capital M, this M small is different, this small m, this capital M is different, and that's why it is saying that it's not a palindrome. So what is the best thing what you have to do is, when you are receiving this madam from a user, so you know what should you do? You should do one thing is just lowercase it, right? Don't keep the capital and small, so it make it something like this, madam, right? Lowercase it. So to lowercase it, so what I will be doing here is I will simply say here this dot LOWER, lower, right? And if I will execute it now, and same thing I'll do the capital M, MADAM, right? So again it is you saying now string is palindrome, right? Now it's correct. So you can use this dot lower here as this, use it here as well, right? And let me comment this thing. Okay, there is a one more way is coming in my mind, how we can reduce the time complexity, right? So to reduce the time complexity, maybe we can do something like this. We'll be using a loop, but this loop will do something like this. Let me make you understand this thing. Suppose if I'm having here madam, MADAM, right? So obviously there is index number 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So in a one iteration, what I'll be doing is, instead of reversing it and doing all the stuff, what I'll be doing is I'll be picking this 0th index and compare it with the last index simply, right? Then increment 1, compare this a with the last a, right? Then compare this I as well, right? So what I will be doing is, suppose I will be choosing one index number 0, which will start from here, right? Index number 0 first, then it will go to the index number 1, then it will go to index number 2, right? Similarly, at the same time, I'll be having here one more index j, which will start from the last index. 4 से आगे ये इधर आ जाएगा, right? J will come from in this direction and I will go in this direction, right? So we'll be comparing these two things. Let me show you with it with a while loop. Hope you will understood. Okay, those who already know the while loop, maybe they will understand. If you are not understanding it, just for the sake of showing it, see how we can do it. So I will do something like this. What I will say is, take a word from a user, so I will copy it the same from here, right? No need to write it again. Control C, Control V. Okay, now I will not reverse it. So what should I need is, I need two things. One is this I, which will start from here, and one is this J, which will start from the last one. So what I will do here is, I will say I equal to 0, right? And J equal to length of word minus 1, correct? Right? So it will from the length of word minus 1. Then what I'll be using is, I will say while I is less than J, right? So why I'm saying I is less than J, that means at the time I will be here, J will be here. When I is less than J, correct, right? So one I is here and J is also here. When you will decrement them, I will here, J will here, that means they are here now, both are here. That means at the time we can assume that we have reached to the middle. That means there is no need to check again. That's why I'm saying that I is should be less than J. Understand it, this is the point as well. If I'm saying I is equal to 0 initially, because we are using U loop, J I am saying is 4. Is 4 less than is 0 less than 4? Yes, right? In a second iteration you will be incrementing it. That means I will be now 1, J will be now 3, right? So now you are here and your I is here and your J is here, right? Is 1 less than 3? I less than J? Yes, correct. So now your I, again you will be incrementing I, that means I will be here now and J will be here now. Is I less than J? No, condition false. That means you have reached to the middle. No need to cross the I and J here. Getting this point? So that's what we will be using here. I is less than J. Okay, what we have to do is, we have to compare if word of I is same as word of J. If it is same, so what we'll be doing is, we'll be continuing. We'll be checking the new word. There is something called as a continue and this stop break. So we will continue to the new word. If this M and this M is small, consider this is small m. Now we are lowercasing it, right? If this M and this M is same, so what should we do? We should go to the next iteration. Check this M and A and this A. That means what should we do? From 0 we should go to 1. That means what I have to do is, I have to increment I, and at the same time what I have to do, I have to decrement J as well, right? So this is the thing that we'll be doing here. Before continuing, I will say I plus equal to 1, right? And J plus equal to any J we have to decrement. I will say minus equal to, right? Correct? Else what we'll be doing is, suppose if this is not same, if I'm saying here is A and here is D, right? So you are comparing, you are saying M same, incrementing A, if there is A, it is same, then increment and J decrement, you will reach here. But what if it is not same? If I am saying here is A and here is D, is it same? No. So what should you do? You should stop here, right? You should stop here and break here, saying that okay, this word is not a palindrome, right? So what should we doing here is, I will say here something like this, break else I will say break, right? Getting this point? So that's it. Okay, now when you will understand that, okay, this, you are in this if loop, you never went to do this break statement, right? You never went to do this break statement, because you have to tell me that this is not a palindrome. You have to tell me that. So for that, I'll be keeping here one flag. Let me keep here one flag equal to 0. I'll say flag equal to 0, right? So here, if it gets into the else part, once, that means there is not a same character coming. in the both the ways, in the I position and the J position, we can say that it's not a palindrome at that time. So if it is not a palindrome, I can change the value of flag. I hope you understood it. You can change the value of flag here, right? So once the flag value has been changed, then we are pretty much sure that okay, it's not a palindrome, right? So here we can say that if flag is equal to 0, if flag is still 0, that means it has never went to in this else wala part, right? Then at the time what you can say is it is a palindrome. At the time we can say it's a palindrome. Else what we can say is it's not a palindrome. Let's check if it is working fine or not. Let me run it now, and here let me give the madam, madam. It's saying is a palindrome. Again, if I will run, let me give here word, word word. Now it's saying it's not a palindrome, right? So I hope you understood this question as well. If you know about the while loop, then you will be knowing कि मैं यहाँ पे क्या कर रहा हूँ. So why I'm doing this, I'm incrementing and J I am decrementing, because in the second iteration, this is a loop, right? In the first iteration, I will be here, J will be here. That means I's value will be 0 and J's value will be 4. In a second iteration, what should you do? You should decrement this J, but you should increment this I, right? Here I am incrementing I and decrementing J and continuing from here, right? Again, there is no need to use the continue as well, right? So without the continue, you can do it. Without the continue, you can do it. I will say here, madam, still is working, right? So without continue, he can do it. Getting this point? I hope you understood this thing, what I am trying to do here. And if you are not understanding it, just forget it. It is just for the sake of showing it.